Aloha, how are you?
Aloha.
So we're live on Facebook
Exactly.
right now? Okay.
Yeah.
Does this part of... Never mind.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank
Great,
you.
great. So tell me more about where you live, the place where you live.
The very magical place of... So there's 8 islands in
Okay.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I live on what is called the Big Island.
Mm.
You could literally take all 7 islands and place them on the Big Island and still have room left over.
Wow.
So it's, and as far as healing, anything or creativity or anything like that, it's the most amazing journey.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there?
No, but I've been to to Tahiti, to the French, Polynesia, and I love it so much. But it's scary because you feel disconnected from everything and everyone, and you gotta just get used to it.
Do you mean being on the on an island?
Yeah.
Yes, it is a complete lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Once you get into that groove of this isn't my life anymore, then when you come back to the mainland, you have to go through
the process, another process again.
Processing. Yes.
Yeah, cool. So, out of before starting talking about the film, that you've done, what made you do this switch
to the island?
Yes.
So I was in a very long-term relationship, and it didn't end the way I thought it was going to end. And
because you thought that was going to end.
No, I thought it was never going to
Okay.
end. Yeah, I thought it was after 18 years, you think you're pretty well into home base, and you find out you're not anywhere near it.
Yeah.
And it ended, and I spent a few years in isolation just to make sure that if it was me, I didn't want to bring any pain or harm to another human being, so I wanted to heal. And I did that after 4 years. And then one day I thought, you know what, I'm ready. I'm ready to meet an incredible human being who I can share my life with. So I went on vacation to the Big Island, and I went and stayed with my brother who lived then 4 doors from my husband, who I had no idea was going to be my husband.
Okay.
So
we invite everybody to go to the Big Island.
There's romance, there's love, there's magic, there's creativity, there's endless. So I did the switch from the whole mainland mentality to the Big Island. Big, everything's big love, big energy, big healing, and then you come, and now I'm having to transfer again.
Yeah, like it's a whole another energy, actually. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me, like, just to be here.
Yeah.
Because this was my acting home, and I left it and went there, and to be accepted back in is truly amazing.
Yeah.
And this is my
alarm
to be with you, and I better shut it off because this is where I am.
See, I like it. I invite everybody to just turn on their alarms.
See, I didn't want to miss your interview.
Yes. I like it.
Thank you. I did something good.
Yes. She's your role model, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. So let's talk more about the film. The short film that is screening tonight at Night of Misfit Films.
Okay, so it's called Sand in the Crack.
Okay.
It is a Hawaiian ideal.
It's obviously a comedy, right?
It's obviously a comedy.
Okay.
Yes. I want to tell the beautiful backstory too, because it was a comedy that was never supposed to be. I was housing a young lady that was going to college on the Big Island, and her family asked me if I could help her feel at home, and when she wasn't in college during the week she could come to my house. Perfect, fine, beautiful young lady. And her mom had sent me as a thank you during Christmas back in 2021 a pineapple doorbell ringer.
Oh wow.
Now I live in Hawaii, right? Perfect gift. Think it's amazing. And my grown daughter was part of the conversation of, oh, my friend sent me this pineapple doorbell ringer. She said, Mom, you cannot hang that on the door. Well, honey, why? She goes, because it means you're a swinger. So.
And you didn't know that.
I didn't. She
I didn't
goes,
know that.
I didn't know, right? Who knows
Yeah.
that? She goes, Mom, it's all over TikTok. Get on TikTok. So a very dear friend of mine, John Kessner, who has been in your festival.
Exactly, yes.
Amazing, amazing talent. And I shared with him the story, and within a day, he had a script to me and
Cool.
said, this is what I felt, and if you want and you can, then make the film. And I read it, and it was hilarious, and it's fun, it's upbeat, and to educate people, people like to swing.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I
yeah.
don't, but
Yeah, it's
but
here. Yeah,
it's
let's talk
here.
about it. Yeah.
yeah, and it so it can be any indication of a banana peel means you have a preference for. Anyway, who knew that fruit was indicative
Exactly.
of sexual
Yeah,
preferences?
I should get on TikTok actually.
So what we came to learn is that the pineapple has to be upside down.
Oh, okay.
And shortly after I made the film,
Yeah.
I was in our local supermarket, and the guy in front of me had upside down pineapples on his swim trunks. Okay.
Now I know. Good. Well, that is a good story to tell. Good. So now tell me more what happens in the story without spoiling, of course.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
So the main characters are Carol and Bob. And of course, Carol has all the answers. Why wouldn't she? She's the wife. And Bob is just Bob.
Yeah.
I mean, you spell the name forward, backwards, it's
Bob. Oh my God.
So
I'm
there's,
having so much fun actually.
so there's no thinking there. So the question is, will Bob ever learn?
Wow. Shout out to all the Bobs who's watching us.
And I love Bob's, but yeah, and it's just it's a short film. It's comedy. There's a lot of aesthetic appeal to the film because it was shot locally in Hawaii.
Yeah.
We had many reasons not to complete the film. Trade winds,
Yeah.
actors leaving the island, so we had to shoot it. Well, actually, we didn't have any trained actors. Everybody that we recruited just wanted to be a part of something magical. So we had this whole ensemble of incredible people that we did this film, and it has a good feel to it.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, our photographers played a role, right? And
Well, your photographers, because they're not mine, Jim and Elena Thornton,
yeah.
they did the cinematography.
Yeah.
Jim ran one camera, Elena ran another, and her husband, Jim, played one of the gay characters chasing Bob,
Bob. See?
down
The
the
center of the
beach.
world. Good.
See, you didn't even watch the film and you're laughing, so is that a good comedy?
That is very good comedy. Kim, so you mentioned the difficulty on the island of not finding like trained actors. Is it like something that you're faced with every day, or tell me more about like the acting field or like the film, the film industry on the island.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because coming from here, where I worked most of my life, making connections and resources, and then you find yourself on an island, population of 250,000 people. Well, what percentage of that are going to be filmmakers?
Yeah.
So it was a huge challenge, and with Elena Thornton's direction and idea, she came up with doing while we were shooting the film short, let's do a side-by-side documentary on how to film on an island with limited resources. So we shot both simultaneously. We are now editing the documentary
Cool.
for
I
how.
want to watch it.
Thank
Yeah.
you, because we figured we would take what we filmed first,
Mm.
send it out there across the world,
Mm.
see what it did,
Yeah.
and it has won so far. I think every festival we submitted to has won at least one award, so we're up to 20 some
Oh wow.
awards internationally.
That is amazing. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we're excited now to include the journey of Sand in the Crack around the world to how did we do this with limited resources. The film has some of its own primary issues, but we did it, and we did it with, and there's a way. So for any filmmaker out there that says, I can't do this, trust me, you can, because when you have nothing and you create something
Yeah.
that is award winning, then it's, yes. So
Are you working on, other than the documentary, does this, winning the awards, because it's beautiful when you win something.
of course.
Yeah. So did that push you like to start writing or thinking about another story to tell?
My brain never shuts down. I
Neither am I.
Yes.
I'm like constantly.
Yes, if we worked on every idea we
Yeah.
had, I don't know where we would be. Since Sand in the Crack, I have had other projects. I just completed a documentary, so far from comedy,
Yeah.
called Together with ALS, A Wife's Perspective. Very heavy, so not comic. The first documentary, and that will be the first one before Sand in the Crack. But I believe as creatives that we're always looking for whatever is next. And for me personally, I love comedy because I want people to laugh.
Yeah.
I like the higher vibration
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
happiness, and that will always be my first love. And but
Well,
oh, and I am, speaking of John
go
Kestner.
ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Speaking of
Yeah.
John Kestner, we are going to be filming on December 7th, 8th, and 9th, if those are the correct dates, but definitely a new script called Housebroken.
Cool.
And
Is it a
it's-
comedy?
It is a comedy. Of course,
Yeah,
it's a comedy.
yeah.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, John Kestner also, he likes to laugh. He likes comedy as well. Yeah.
He is an amazing human
Yeah.
being.
I think he won last year, if I'm not
He
mistaken.
won,
yeah, last year.
You know what? Did I reset this so I wouldn't forget a second time? This is how much I want this.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I have to stop this. John Kestner, he is such a multi-talented individual. He has done faith-based. He's done comedy. He's
And
horror,
sci-fi somehow.
thrill-
Yeah.
Yeah. His brain is one of. He reminds me of the limitless man. There are no limits to what his creativity holds. I am honored, and to be associated with him in any manner to me is such a blessing.
Cool.
Been
Yeah.
wanting to work with him for decades, and
Yeah.
we finally have it.
Yeah. It's beautiful when, we, in the industry, in the film industry, a lot of people try to, there's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of, people not wanting to work with each other. So, it's really like a beautiful lesson, what you just said, working together is something, that will lift us all up. And this is, what you're trying to do in this film festival. Let's network, let's, meet each other, first of all, network, because this is how Danita and I met, at a film festival. And then 8 years later, we have like 4 film festivals. So, it's all about networking, knowing people. And then, sometimes you match and sometimes you do not match. But this, it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about what do you have to bring to the table,
Right.
and maybe I can enhance that, because
Yeah.
I like to surround myself with people smarter than me, because I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And thank goodness, because how horrible would that be? I know
Yeah.
everything, so you have nothing to offer me.
Yeah.
So why am I in your space? And I like to work with people smarter than me because that means I just keep going, and to recognize that in this industry is a beautiful thing because it'll take you farther.
100%. Yeah. Kim, my last question for you is, what in your career, your professional path, what was your like one of the biggest difficulty in your professional career?
Okay, that's a heavy duty.
I know.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna soak in it for a minute because I'm gonna see.
Because even though you like comedy and we were laughing, but I know that there's a lot of depth, in you. So this is why I wanted to know.
So please ask me the question one more time.
Yeah, throughout your career as, an actress, what was your biggest challenge or difficulty?
Comes very clearly now. Believing in myself.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you asked me that, I did from the very first film I did, I went through all of them,
Yeah.
and it all boils down to I'm my own worst enemy.
Wow. That is super interesting. Yeah. We're all, right? We're all our worst super enemy. Yeah.
You have to recognize it, though. You have to say, you are worthy. You are so talented. I think the obstacles that come in our way are actually gifts. Because that obstacle, this obstacle, well, are you going to be surrounded by it, or are you going to push them away and get yourself out there and say, you know what? I can do this. I'm worthy. Been here long enough, learned enough. And so it's us.
Cool. Kim, well, thank you for this beautiful interview. I will keep that in mind.
You don't do that, do you?
Which what?
Make yourself your own worst enemy.
I used to do it, and just I'm trying my best not to. I've learned recently, because we all have challenges, even though we do not talk about them, because we're afraid to share our challenges. This is another taboo in our artistic community. I decided that each challenge is here to redirect me somewhere else. I had to, at some point I had to stop seeing obstacles and challenges as the end of the road. No, it's just it's it's redirection to, this is the universe, sending you in another direction, and you gotta go there because over there will be something better for you. And that matches more, your energy, because we're talking about energy.
Yeah.
But it's, sometimes it's so difficult to understand that what you want now, maybe it's not the best option. What you consciously want now may not be the best option for you, So that is, and just get over it.
Yes. And the best thing to do is claim that, which is yours by your divine right. Stick a fork in it.
Yeah.
It's fine. And we're done.
100%. Without the violence part, but it's cool.
Well, here's the thing: if you don't claim what's yours, someone else is going to claim
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I already put my fork in there. So
Yeah.
you can't take it out.
Cool. Nice. See. She gave you a lot of good advices today. Kim, I'm really so glad, I'm really so happy, to have you with us today. It was really great interview.
Thank
One
you.
of my best so far.
Aww,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. It's
you.
beautiful when, we can go beyond, the film itself,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the sugar on a piece of
Yeah.
candy.
Right.
And if you eat the candy and it doesn't melt quick enough in your mouth, you got a lot more to eat.
Yeah.
Then.
Cool. Well, thank you a lot.
Thank you.
And